Welcome to our exploration of The Body Keeps the Score by Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. This groundbreaking book reveals how trauma doesn't just affect our minds, but leaves a lasting imprint on our bodies as well. Throughout this video, we'll uncover how traumatic experiences can reshape the brain, influence emotions, and even impact our physical health. We'll also discuss why healing from trauma requires more than just talking. It's about reconnecting the mind, body, and brain. Let's begin by understanding what trauma really means and why its effects are so profound and persistent. Trauma is not just a memory or a feeling, it leaves a real physical imprint on the body. When someone experiences trauma, their brain's alarm system is altered, stress hormones surge, and even the immune system can change. This means the body literally remembers what happened, sometimes long after the mind tries to forget. These changes can show up as chronic pain, fatigue, or unexplained physical symptoms. Understanding this physical imprint is the first step toward recognizing why trauma can be so difficult to overcome, and why healing must address both mind and body. After trauma, the brain's survival mechanisms kick into high gear. The amygdala, which is responsible for detecting threats, becomes hyperactive. This keeps the person in a constant state of fight, flight, or freeze, even when there's no real danger present. Everyday situations can suddenly feel overwhelming or threatening. This constant state of alertness can make it hard to relax, sleep, or feel safe. Recognizing this survival mode helps explain why trauma survivors may react strongly to seemingly minor triggers. Traumatic memories are stored differently than ordinary memories. Instead of being processed as a coherent story, they often remain fragmented and sensory-based. This means that sights, sounds, or smells can trigger vivid flashbacks, making it feel as if the trauma is happening all over again. These fragmented memories can be confusing and distressing, making it hard for survivors to make sense of their experiences. Understanding this helps explain why trauma can be so persistent and why traditional talk therapy may not always be enough. Childhood trauma can have especially far-reaching effects. Early experiences of neglect, abuse, or instability can disrupt brain development, making it harder to regulate emotions and form healthy relationships later in life. These early wounds increase the risk of both mental and physical health problems as adults. The brain's wiring is shaped by these formative experiences, which is why early intervention and support are so crucial for children exposed to trauma. While talking about trauma can be helpful, it's often not enough. During traumatic events, the brain's language centers can shut down, making it hard to put feelings into words. Many survivors struggle to describe what happened or how they feel. This is why traditional talk therapy sometimes falls short, because trauma is stored in the body and in nonverbal memories. Effective healing often requires approaches that go beyond words. To truly heal from trauma, the body must be involved. Techniques like yoga, breathwork, and somatic awareness help calm the nervous system and reconnect mind and body. These practices can release tension, reduce anxiety, and restore a sense of safety. By focusing on physical sensations and movement, survivors can begin to process trauma in a way that words alone cannot achieve. This body-based approach is a key part of lasting recovery. Healing from trauma is not a solo journey. Safe, supportive relationships are essential for recovery. When survivors feel understood and accepted, their brains can begin to reset the alarm systems that keep them on edge. Trust and emotional security are rebuilt through connection with others, whether it's friends, family, or therapists. This sense of belonging is a powerful antidote to the isolation that trauma often brings. One of the most effective therapies for trauma is EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. This technique uses guided eye movements to help the brain reorganize traumatic memories. Over time, these memories become less overwhelming and lose their emotional charge. EMDR has helped countless survivors process their trauma and move forward with greater resilience. It's a powerful example of how innovative therapies can unlock healing. Neurofeedback is another promising tool for trauma recovery. By training the brain to regulate itself, neurofeedback can reduce anxiety, hypervigilance, and emotional instability. This technique uses real-time feedback from brainwave activity to help survivors gain better control over their mental states. Over time, neurofeedback can help rewire the brain for greater calm and resilience, supporting long-term healing. A core part of healing from trauma is reclaiming a sense of agency. Trauma often leaves people feeling powerless and disconnected from their own bodies and emotions. Recovery involves regaining ownership of one's story, choices, and physical self. This renewed sense of control is essential for building confidence and moving forward. Empowerment is at the heart of true healing. Before diving deeper, let's clarify what trauma actually is. Trauma isn't just about experiencing violence or disaster. It can result from any event that overwhelms a person's ability to cope, such as loss, neglect, or chronic stress. Trauma is defined by its impact, not just the event itself. Understanding this broad definition helps us recognize trauma's many forms and why its effects are so widespread. The brain's alarm system is designed to keep us safe. When danger is detected, it triggers a cascade of stress hormones and prepares the body to respond. In trauma survivors, this system can become stuck in the on position, leading to chronic anxiety and hypervigilance. Understanding how the brain's alarm works is key to understanding trauma's lasting effects. When trauma activates the brain's alarm, stress hormones like cortisol flood the body. While these hormones are helpful in short bursts, chronic exposure can damage health over time. High stress hormone levels are linked to problems like insomnia, weight gain, and weakened immunity. This is another way trauma leaves a physical mark long after the event has passed. Trauma doesn't just affect the mind, it can also disrupt the immune system. Chronic stress and unresolved trauma can lead to inflammation and make the body more vulnerable to illness. Many trauma survivors experience frequent colds, digestive issues, or autoimmune problems. Recognizing this connection helps explain why physical health is so closely tied to emotional well-being. The fight, flight, or freeze response is the body's way of protecting itself from danger. In trauma survivors, this response can become overactive, making it hard to feel calm or safe. Everyday stressors may trigger intense reactions, even when there's no real threat. Understanding this response is crucial for both survivors and those supporting them. Flashbacks are one of the most distressing symptoms of trauma. They occur when sensory cues, like a sound or smell, suddenly bring the traumatic event back to life. Triggers can be unpredictable and overwhelming, making daily life challenging. Learning to recognize and manage triggers is a vital part of trauma recovery. Unlike ordinary memories, traumatic memories are often fragmented and disconnected from time. Survivors may remember certain details vividly, while other parts are blank or confused. This fragmentation makes it hard to process the trauma as a coherent story, which can keep survivors stuck in the past. Traumatic memories are often stored in the body as sensations, images, or sounds rather than words. Survivors might feel a racing heart, tight muscles, or see vivid mental pictures when reminded of the trauma. This sensory-based recall explains why trauma can feel so immediate and overwhelming, even years later. Children's brains are still developing, making them especially vulnerable to the effects of trauma. Early adversity can disrupt the formation of neural pathways, affecting learning, behavior, and emotional regulation. This is why childhood trauma can have such a lasting impact on adult health and relationships. Early trauma can disrupt a child's ability to form secure attachments. Without a sense of safety and trust, children may struggle to build healthy relationships as adults. This can lead to patterns of isolation, anxiety, or difficulty trusting others. Healing these wounds often requires rebuilding trust through supportive relationships. Adults who experience childhood trauma are at higher risk for both mental and physical illnesses. These can include depression, anxiety, heart disease, and autoimmune disorders. The link between early adversity and later health problems highlights the importance of prevention and early intervention. During trauma, the brain's language centers can go offline, making it nearly impossible to describe what's happening. Survivors may feel numb, confused, or unable to speak. This is why some people struggle to talk about their trauma, even years later. Healing often requires approaches that reach beyond words. Body-based therapies focus on increasing awareness of physical sensations. By tuning into the body, survivors can notice where they hold tension or pain. Practices like mindfulness, yoga, and breathwork help release these physical memories and restore a sense of calm. This approach is especially helpful when words aren't enough. Yoga is a powerful tool for trauma recovery. Through gentle movement and breath, yoga helps calm the nervous system and reconnect mind and body. It offers a safe way to release tension and regain a sense of control. Many trauma survivors find yoga to be a vital part of their healing journey. Breathwork is another effective way to regulate the nervous system. Slow, deep breathing signals safety to the brain and helps reduce anxiety. Breathwork can be practiced anywhere and is a simple tool for managing stress and grounding the body during difficult moments. Somatic awareness means paying attention to the body's sensations and movements. This practice helps survivors notice how trauma shows up physically, like tight shoulders or a clenched jaw. By becoming more aware, it's possible to release tension and create new patterns of relaxation and safety. Supportive relationships are a cornerstone of trauma healing. When survivors feel safe with others, their brains can relax and begin to heal. Trust is rebuilt through consistent, caring interactions. This sense of safety is essential for overcoming the isolation and fear that trauma often brings. Emotional security is the feeling of being safe, accepted, and understood. Trauma can shatter this sense of security, but supportive relationships and therapy can help restore it. Feeling emotionally secure allows survivors to take risks, express themselves, and move forward with confidence. EMDR therapy uses guided eye movements to help the brain process traumatic memories. During a session, the therapist asks the client to recall a distressing event while following a moving object with their eyes. This process helps the brain reorganize the memory, making it less intense and easier to manage. EMDR is backed by research and has helped many people recover from trauma. EMDR is especially effective for people who struggle with flashbacks, nightmares, or intrusive thoughts. By helping the brain process trauma, EMDR reduces the emotional charge of painful memories. Many survivors report feeling lighter, calmer, and more in control after EMDR sessions. Neurofeedback is a technique that uses real-time brainwave feedback to help people regulate their mental states. By watching their brain activity on a screen, survivors can learn to calm their minds and reduce symptoms like anxiety or hypervigilance. Neurofeedback is non-invasive and can be a valuable part of trauma recovery. With repeated neurofeedback sessions, the brain can learn new patterns of regulation. This means less reactivity to stress and greater emotional stability. Over time, survivors may notice improved sleep, mood, and overall well-being. Neurofeedback shows how the brain's plasticity can support healing. Trauma often leaves survivors feeling powerless. Regaining a sense of control is a crucial part of recovery. This can happen through setting boundaries, making choices, and taking small steps toward goals. Each act of agency helps rebuild confidence and trust in oneself. Part of reclaiming agency is owning your story. This means acknowledging what happened, understanding its impact, and choosing how to move forward. Telling your story, whether through writing, art, or therapy, can be empowering and healing. It's about taking back your narrative. Trauma can show up in the body as chronic pain, headaches, digestive issues, or fatigue. These symptoms are real and often linked to unresolved emotional wounds. Addressing both the physical and emotional aspects of trauma is essential for full recovery. Living with chronic stress from trauma can wear down the body over time. It increases the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and other health problems. Recognizing the toll of chronic stress is important for both prevention and recovery. The mind and body are deeply connected. Trauma disrupts this connection, but healing can restore it. Practices that integrate mind and body, like mindfulness, yoga, and somatic therapy, help survivors feel whole again. This holistic approach is at the heart of trauma recovery. Effective trauma therapies are grounded in research. Approaches like EMDR, neurofeedback, and somatic therapy have been shown to help survivors process trauma and regain stability. Choosing evidence-based treatments increases the chances of lasting recovery. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. For trauma survivors, mindfulness can help reduce anxiety, improve emotional regulation, and increase body awareness. It's a simple yet powerful tool for healing. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity. Trauma can challenge resilience, but it can also be strengthened through support, self-care, and therapy. Building resilience helps survivors face future challenges with greater confidence and hope. Recovery from trauma is possible. With the right support, therapies, and self-care, survivors can heal and reclaim their lives. Hope is a powerful force that fuels the journey toward wholeness. Remember, healing is not linear, but every step forward matters. Let's recap the key insights from The Body Keeps the Score. Trauma leaves a physical and psychological imprint, affecting the brain, body, and emotions. Healing requires reconnecting mind and body through evidence-based therapies, supportive relationships, and reclaiming agency. With understanding and the right tools, recovery is within reach. Moving forward after trauma is a journey. It involves patience, self-compassion, and the willingness to seek help when needed. Remember, you are not alone. Support and healing are available. Each step you take brings you closer to reclaiming your life and well-being. Thank you for joining this exploration of trauma and healing. The Body Keeps the Score reminds us that recovery is possible, and that reconnecting mind, body, and spirit is at the heart of true healing. With knowledge, support, and the right tools, anyone can move beyond trauma and build a brighter future.